Hello, everyone. Welcome to In Response Interviews with Intriguing Internalizers. My name is Mia Park, and I started this interview series as my own internal response to the really freaky outside world right now. And in this interview series, I'm talking to my family and friends from all over the globe about what their internal response is to what the outside world looks like to them. So I am in Chicago, Illinois, and for context, today's September 7th, 2020. In America, we call this Labor Day, although we're always laboring, aren't we? I don't think there's a day off from that. But anyway, this is a holiday here, and we're still in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're still in the middle of the pandemic of racial injustice. And today's special guest is the luminescent yet super grounded Mary Bruce coming at us from Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you, Mia. Miss Mia. It's been a long, long time. I'm really excited to be here with you today.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It has been a long time. So there's people like Mary, like we haven't talked in years, but we can just see each other like this and be like, oh, hi. It's
Yeah,
like time doesn't pass, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So Mary is not only, as you can tell, super cool, like laid back, super cool, but also very wise and a longtime yoga student, practitioner, and teacher. Excuse me. I got so excited talking about you. I started coughing. Pardon me. Sorry about that.
On the wrong pipe.
It did. It did. I got so excited talking about Mary. Pardon me 1 second.
Take a drink of water.
I know. I don't have water. I should. I'm going to get water. So, Mary,
Okay.
you talk. I'll be right back. So, anyway, I can talk and do this. So, Mary has been teaching yoga a long time, and we know each other through yoga. And also, much better. I have this lovely tea. How much tea do yoga people drink? It's like half of our blood is made out of tea.
Right.
Right. So sorry about that. Pausing back to come back. Okay. So Mary's a longtime practitioner. We met in the yoga world. Mary's like you have traveled all over teaching private clients. Pardon me. Sorry.
Yes, I started practicing in 1994, 94, 95, and a semester at a community college, and I caught the bug right away. Found a yoga studio, wanted to take teacher training right away. She told me to wait a couple years, so in 1997 I did my first of many, many, many trainings, and still doing that. I am a seeker first and foremost. I am a student of yoga and life, and really, teacher means to me being able just to share what I've digested, and hopefully that inspires.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm back from my food in the throat thing. So sorry about that.
No, I get
This,
that.
yeah, this is live. This is how the nice thing about talking with you, Mary, and experienced yoga teachers like you is that like I'm having a throat thing while I'm talking to you. It's like us teaching a class.
Right.
Okay, go. Hold on. I need to drink of water. Okay, this is fine. This happens. It's part of it. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm glad you got to talk a little bit about yourself. So now, can you let us know what the outside world looks like to you? And then share with us what your internal response is. I'm very so excited and curious to hear about that, especially.
Well, outside world, I mean, I'm sitting here in Phoenix, Arizona, in my lovely sanctuary of a home where just, you know, during a pandemic, this is a pretty cozy place to be. I feel very privileged and safe, and, I'm surrounded by internal beauty here. And then it is summertime in Phoenix, Arizona, like I said, and I don't even know how many days it's been over 110. So, we are in just the triple digits for a good long time. I am in a serious relationship with my air conditioner. So It's not been too bad because I haven't been going anywhere. Normally, I would try and get out of here in the summertime and then travel, either touring with, as you know, I was out with the band Sugarland. And, of course, they had to cancel their tour. And then I also had some teaching gigs planned, and, everything turned inside out, upside down. So, it's beautiful here, but it's very, very hot. And I think Wednesday we get to go down to like 75 in the morning. So we'll get some cooler mornings and evenings, and I might get back outside to hike. So I really like to get outside in nature and hike. I think that can kind of lead into the internal landscape, is that, I really understand now um, why our practices are so important, because it's for times like these that we lean into them. So, yoga practice, meditation, contemplation, just stillness, writing, reflection. And I'm still, sometimes bouncing off walls, but, I see that as it's happening, and I know what to do to, detangle and rein myself back in. And I also find connect to myself on a deep basis when I get out in nature and go hiking. In fact, you and I went hiking. The last time I saw you, you were here for a wedding, and you came up from Tucson and stayed with me for an evening, and I took you out to Pepperell Park. So I'm missing that. I know that, some people still get outside, but it's just a little too hot for this pitta, this pitta provoked body to go out at 1:15. So I'm looking forward to that. I have it planned either tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning. I'm gonna get out there again, because that grounds me, and that's important.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, and I've been in that sanctuary of a home of yours, which is just so nurturing and lovely and fun. It's like, what is that? What is that? And I think that obviously your home is a reflection of how of a nurturer and a complex you are inside as well. So
Hmm.
thanks for like letting us know where you are and how you are in it, and that of course nature is what helps you connect. Um, Being a deep spiritual person that I know you are, would you mind sharing with us from that kind of spiritual place in you how you're processing what's going on out there?
Hmm. How am I processing what's going on out there? Little by little. It's challenging for everybody. It's challenging for all of us, and um, I think it's necessary. It's necessary to dismantle everything, to have a complete collapse, so that there can be a
Mhm.
revisioning and a recreation. So, sometimes I can go into doom and gloom. It depends upon if I'm tired or not, or what I'm eating, if I've had too much sugar. Trying to stay really grounded and rooted with sleep and food, so that I have discernment, and then when I have clarity, I do know that, this is systemic, it's generational, it has to be destroyed in order to be recreated. So
Yeah, I'm with you. The deconstruction for the reconstruction,
yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, do you feel like in the yoga studies that I know that we've kind of shared, and there it's just the studies are there. Like we talk about cycles,
Hmm.
like yugas or eras or time periods of time, and then even within that, there are these kind of cycles of things happening. Do you think that like it sounds like you're like I agree. I think that we're in the middle of a cycle
Hmm.
and that things are going to reconstruct and deconstruct. Do you think it's going to get better on the other side, or are we just kind of spinning our wheels in this little grout, this kind of like samskara of just existence, this
Yeah.
pattern?
Yeah, no, I really, I'm hopeful, and I would really like for it to get better. Have you seen? I just finished a series on Hulu, Mrs. America. Did you watch that with Kate
Mm-mm.
Blanchett? Fascinating. So it goes through the late 60s into like 79, and with Gloria Steinem, Shirley Chisholm, Bella Abzug. and the whole ERA women's movement, and with Phyllis Schlafly, and at the head of the anti-ERA. And I think my mind was boggled halfway through it and was like, we're still here. We're still here. We're still fighting for these same things. And that, it was only in February of 2020 that Virginia ratified. So that was the final 38 ratified. It was supposed to be done in 1982, and they had 3 states. I know, you have to watch this. It's fascinating. And they needed 3 more states to be ratified. The bill it went through, but not ratified. So, so all women need to watch this series, Mrs. America, and we need to get on this, because there's still not equality for women, and Indigenous and Black women especially. I mean, it's like we are the minority, and it's mind-boggling that we're still here. And I think that we were born for times like these. This is what my mentor tells me. And so that we lean into our practices and we don't go back to sleep. That's one of my favorite Rumi quotes, is don't go back to sleep. The door is round and open. I'm just kind of paraphrasing it. But
I love that. Actually, Rumi was one of the authors that I started collecting books on again during the shutdown. It's like, who do I really want to read right now, right? So I'm going to have to look that quote up. So being such a seasoned teacher and practitioner, what advice do you have for people to start their own practice? And even if they're not into yoga, like if someone's kind of curious about what you're saying, like to get ready for these times, how would you advise someone do that?
Slow down. Just like slow way down, because otherwise we just spin and spray and go out there, or we go into a fugue state, like a freeze state, and like the world is vibrating at this chaotic pace that can remind us of our previous traumas. And so time doesn't exist in that space, so it's like fight or flight can be up. So I think practices like restorative yoga and yoga nidra that are dear to both of our hearts is really important. And then meditation, if you don't have a meditation practice, just practice getting still for a few minutes a day. Like just, I'm sitting here at my kitchen table and I have a window that I can see outside, and I've got my wind chimes and my bougainvillea. And so I can just soften my attention, soften my eyes, and just chill. And that can ground me and get me back inside my body. So I don't have any like magic number of, you have to sit at a particular time and you have to do a particular technique. It's like, no. Let's just, have an intention to, abide, abide in our bodies and connect to our essential nature. So I think just really slowing down, leaning into what is true, and listening for yeses and nos in our body. So what is a yes and what is a no, and what does it feel like? So that's a very simple, profound practice. It's just a little no is an all no. My mentor also shared that with me. So, it's like, and to know where is it in your heart, is it in your gut, and then to lean into that. And then knowing that's true, if it's an all yes, that's excitement, and then go do it. Sometimes we have responsibilities as parents and teachers that we have to follow through on, but we can let go of a lot of these, self-appointed obligations or, commitments. And then this is one of my favorite phrases, this being true, what is the most loving, kind thing I can do for myself in this moment? And it's in this moment, because that can change. That can change a half an hour from now, an hour from now, and then we do the next best thing. So this is something that I learned in therapy that's been very, very helpful. But I also relate it to, for our yogi friends, the Gayatri mantra. May my mind be inspired by the brilliance of my heart to take the right action at the right time. So not so much from our logical linear mind, which can go into fight or flight, but really to weigh into that part of us that is unchanging in the changing world, to know that there is a part of us that is already whole. There's nothing wrong with us. and that we can have more and more experiences of that. So that's why I choose to meditate, because I need to gather those experiences so that I know what to do when I'm not on my mat. Like I just want no separation between mat and world, more
Love that.
living this.
That's great. Thanks. You just said like a million things that I have questions again about. I think that what's one important thing that you said that might be helpful for people who don't currently have a practice of understanding themselves occupying this physical form. Can you say more of like what a yes would feel like in someone's body versus a no, and how could someone listen for that and
Yeah. Well, it's like sensory awareness, whole body listening, and I teach that in yoga class. So like, they don't have to follow my cues. I mean, yes, I'd like them to follow my cues, but then they don't have to adopt it. So what does it feel like in your body? Does it feel good? Does it feel comfortable? Do you feel spacious? Do you feel free? If so, then stay with that. But if I told you to do something in yoga and it doesn't feel good, you have 100% autonomy to change that. So we have to give ourselves permission to just kind of lean in and feel that. So I think it's different for everybody, Mia. I think for me, it's like I get a little bit of a lightness and an excitement when there's a yes. It's like, oh, yeah, I want to do that, and like maybe even little tingles on my skin, the little God bumps, whatever you might want to call them. And then a no might just kind of be, for me, it'd be like the shoulders kind of come in and the chest kind of caves and I feel a little bit of a knot, but it's like a yes might come out of my mouth because I think I should do that. But I really internally, I'm feeling like, oh, I really don't want to. No, that doesn't work for me. So we have to pay attention to that. And a little no is an all no. And like I said, there's responsibilities. If, people who have children, they can't tell their children, they can just say their yeses and their nos, because there's certain obligations, and as mothers and parents and partners. But when we want to learn to navigate the world about what we say yes and no to. So saying no, saying yes to someone when it's a no for you, nobody's going to win from that. So we need to nourish ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's the next level of self-development. Is I love your advice of, because we do have to go through the body. I mean, we have to go through, we're in these bodies for a reason, right? I love your advice of going through the body, understanding what yes and no means for you. Love that a little knows and all know. So true. Then there's like this other level of confidence or resilience or faith or knowledge that we need to have to follow what the body says. Because
100%.
because I feel like if you keep your body keeps saying yes and you keep saying no, or vice versa, it doesn't, like, it goes somewhere. The body is not going to just let that go and go, okay, gosh, you didn't listen to me. It's
Right.
something happens, right? So
Right.
do you I have a feeling I have a feeling I know how you're going to answer this, but how would you advise someone to build that fortitude to listen to the yeses or nos in their body?
Um, yeah, that's great, Mia, because that's how we get sick. I mean, that's illness. It's dis-ease because we're disconnected from ourselves. We're not paying attention to that. So following that, every time you do, you're going to gain a little more confidence when you get the right outcome. So, and when you don't. I mean, I know when I don't. It's like, oh man, I should have listened, and then it's like, okay. So next time, pay attention. So it's having the courage to listen,
Yeah.
listening, and then being willing to answer the call. Being willing to answer the call. I can, I will, I must. From our poor Sharta training, from our Sankalpas.
Absolutely. So if you're interested in some of this yoga technology that Mary and I are talking about, you can go to Mary's website, which and talk to her about that. And that link is in the bio. So I was kind of teasing when I asked that last question about, like, I have a feeling you know what you're going to say, because you mentioned your meditation practice and how that gives you, like you said, the resilience and the ability to handle this world off the mat. And that's what's really important, because we need to be able to be in this world and function in this world. So that being said, do you mind me asking like an outside real world question in Phoenix?
Sure. Yeah.
We're hearing a lot right now about like racial injustice protests in Portland. I'm in Chicago, of course. A few weeks ago, we had like full-out riots here again. What's it like in Phoenix on that front these days?
It's fairly quiet right now. I did join a protest back when George Floyd was murdered, and we had our own version of that here, and so it was downtown, and it was peaceful. There was, yeah, it was hot, and everybody was in masks, and I think that later in the evenings there was some destruction in downtown and then in Scottsdale, but not necessarily from the peaceful protesters. So other forces came in and were doing the damage and blaming them. But I haven't heard much of anything as far as any violence going on here in Arizona.
Yeah, that's amazing that unfortunate trend is consistent, that there's these peaceful gatherings happening. And like, I love how you said forces, because there are forces out there that are trying to splinter us from doing the right thing. Each individual, which goes back to the fortitude to listen to your body's yes and no. And also as a collective, I agree. There's, you can call it evil, you can call it ignorance or whatever. There's definitely forces that are trying to wedge us between doing the right thing and not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's amazing that they're in Phoenix as well as every place else in the world.
Yeah.
Well, this is being human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And it is interesting too. I live in a red state, we're hoping to turn it purple, and I am a yoga teacher, but I also have many interests, and I think yoga is a lifestyle. And so on social media, I'm not real loud on there. I post every once in a while. And throughout the month of July, I did a dress a day for my birthday. And I guess that inspired some people. So that was fun. It was very cool. And the heat of here, I don't want to be wearing spandex. So to wear some loose shifts was fabulous. But then I posted a couple of, stories and articles, and that were perhaps meaningful to me or inspired me and wanted to share them. And I get some flack for that, of people wanting to put me in boxes, like, I enjoy your yoga, but your politics not so much. And so then I get interested and like, that's really interesting. So there seems to be, a lot of division. As you know, there's division all over the world, or all of our country specifically right now. And not a lot of room for some conscious discourse. So,
Isn't that interesting that like you just said, yoga's a lifestyle, and then you have people saying like, I like your yoga, but I don't like your politics. And it's like, you are who you are.
Right. Right.
And I'm so glad at that. So we're at about time, but you are who you are, and I appreciate who you are. Mary Bruce has always been like that lovely voice of reason and wisdom and light. And I apologize again for I got so excited to talk to you. So I'm coughing and stuff earlier in the day, but that's fine. So this will eventually be a podcast. So if you're interested in revisiting this with Mary in that form, that is awesome. And this video is going to live on my website, miapark.com. And if you friends are interested in becoming a patron, you can do so at just $1 a month and help support this interview series and the upcoming podcast. And that would be on my Patreon page, patreon.com/miapark. So Mary Bruce, thank you so much, darling.
Oh, Mia, thank you. It's been a pleasure to see you, and let's have a catch up real soon.
Oh my God, I'd love that. Just hearing your voice is like, honestly, hearing your voice, I'm like, oh, there's that Mary Bruce voice. Very soothing. Okay, friends. Well, thanks for tuning in. And Mary, take care, love.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.